Welcome to Is There Something in This, the podcast where me, mild-mannered Scott Dooley, and he, noted misogynist.
This show has already gone in the toilet. I had so much faith
So,
that you wouldn't fuck this up.
Jason Chatfield, we had a week off. Any news, mate?
What a fucking week to have
Wow.
off, hey? What a week to decide not to do a
Can
podcast.
we, just to recap, for anyone that missed out, there was a cartoon,
We sold a cartoon.
sold a cartoon to the magazine, which was fantastic.
Great cartoon, and I cut it out of a previous episode, and if you like, I can drop it right here in the episode.
So this is the cartoon in question.
The other idea is at the gym. I was at the gym this week.
Righto,
and-
mate. We get it. You're buff.
No, I was there and I was trying to get, because I was feeling sick and I thought, I'll get better quicker by going to the gym. Wrong. Totally wrong.
How long have you been a doctor for? I didn't realize you had such a wonderful understanding of the human body.
Listen, I don't want to
Doctors
brag.
often say when you're feeling unwell, the doctors always say, "Oh, put your body under as much duress as possible." How much have you been sweating lately?
Yeah, whatever you do, don't rest.
Yeah, don't rest.
That's what I hear a lot.
Don't rest.
I haven't been to the doctor since I don't think I've been to the doctor
Oh, what do
since
those
I moved.
quacks know? With this genius at your disposal.
Oh, with advice like this, who needs doctors? I was sitting there and on the machine, I don't know if you, Captain Carriage, have this because it feels like something you'd be it's very irksome.
Someone on the phone instead of working out?
Precisely.
There you go. Oh,
You
yeah.
picked it before I said it.
Yeah.
It's the guys and girls who go there, stake out a spot on a machine,
And then
particularly
look at
a machine,
Instagram.
and they just sit there, and they're not even resting between sets. It's not like a rest because you rest between sets sometimes. You're like, you know what, just kill some time, check the phone.
I don't. But
No, because I go to the gym to exercise, God forbid. And they just sit there and literally 25 minutes, up to 40 minutes, they will capitalize this one machine and just scroll through Instagram.
Yeah, no.
And look, maybe they're looking at Fitstagram cash. That doesn't count.
No.
You're at the gym.
Yeah.
Exercise and go.
Yeah,
You don't get points for coming to the gym and looking at Instagram.
You actually do at my gym. They give you
Okay.
points just for going in the door.
green point
So
over
you could
here.
literally just go to the gym,
Brilliant.
look at Instagram, and
Yep.
they'd still give you points.
That's ridiculous. Is that true?
Yeah, you get points.
That
it's
is
New York
sick.
Health and Racquet Club give you points. And
That is
it's
sick.
like if you go, it's an exorbitant amount of trips to
Yeah.
get like a pair of flip-flops.
Brilliant. It's like the arcade.
Yeah, that's right.
400 tickets gets you a teddy
Precisely.
bear.
It's exactly what it is.
Chewbacca plushie. Okay, so the idea was that two people sort of comparing gym memberships, like, oh, you pay $45 a month. I pay up to $75 a month to sit on a machine and go through Instagram. How much do you pay? Instead of what's your gym membership offer?
I think, do you know what? I
what's
think
the
you've already
package?
got that joke, which is the person in prison.
Yeah.
What are you in for?
Yeah.
Oh, I sat on a
right,
machine
right.
looking at my phone
Or
instead
maybe
of work.
it's Hell's Waiting Room. Oh, what if it's the entry to the gym? It's an entry to the gym where it's on the left.
Oh,
is
there you go.
People who are going to exercise, people who are going to just sit on a machine and scroll
Here-
through Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
that's-
like that a lot.
All right, let's
That's
do that.
nice. That's nice.
We'll put that in this week. Okay.
Do you, another thing. How did we do it?
the best.
So
Yeah.
then it was in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Then, and now this is something that I just want to point out to you before we get into your week.
Yep.
Or 2 weeks, really.
Yeah.
I was in Paris, and as you just heard,
Yeah.
that's Jason's idea. And we were going back and forth. We were talking about this as to, well, how does the credit look?
Sure.
And I was like, I was really umming and ahhing about it.
Yeah.
And Jason said, no, you should be on it.
I
and then
insisted.
And I was
your
like,
name on it.
you know, look, it's fine. It doesn't matter. And I must say, I
Right.
felt a bit weird about the whole thing.
Sure.
So then it gets put in, and Jason says, listen, they weren't able to put your name on the cartoon, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, that's fine. Then he said, just before he goes, surprise, your name's on the cartoon. The New Yorker publishes it. I don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
Then the New Yorker puts it up
On
their
their
Instagram. And it is easily their most engaged with post in the history of the New Yorker's Instagram, with half of the people going, that's sexist. The other half, No, I'd say it's 30% saying that's sexist.
No.
30% saying it's not, and then the remaining 40% arguing with the others.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
they don't even care. They're just arguing.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, glad you put my name on that one.
You know what? You will astutely observe that when they posted it on the New Yorker's Instagram, they forgot to put @Scott Dools.
Yeah.
Yet they put my fucking name on there, didn't they?
So you... Because the initial thing was,
Yes.
yo, this is great.
Great.
It's on the Instagram.
Yes.
Have you been getting any followers? And the message you went, kinda.
So what happened was, when we sold it to the New Yorker, just a little bit of inside baseball for you guys, we sold it as a rough, and when Emma, she was umming and ahhing about it as well. And she's a very perspicacious, very particular woman, very particular editor, because she knows her readers. She knows what the reaction's going to be based on what she gets every day of the week from every other cartoon they've ever published.
Yeah.
She knows what they do. And she did flag it ahead of time and said, listen, just maybe we get rid of the yoga mat, maybe we flip the cat, maybe we flip it, maybe we flip the genders.
What was it originally?
It was actually originally as you see it now.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, look, if anything to serve as the joke. Basically, my primary concern is funny. We came up with it as a joke about making fun of people who sit on machines.
Yeah, the joke. The joke.
The joke is about the gym.
Is about the gym, and that was to me. The joke doesn't hang on the gender at all.
Not
the
at all.
joke hangs on
No.
the sign. The sign does the heavy lifting for me,
I'd
and the
say-
idea of two entrances.
And we did discuss when we were finishing, it's a bit SS to put signs. I was on the fence about signs being a bit SS.
That's right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so when I did it, she said, all right, I will put it through to David, put it through the editor, see what David thinks. And sure enough, David was like, you know what? Let's go with it the way it is. And she said, this is not completely private, but she said, on 17th thought, let's keep it the way it is and let's go to press. So we had discussed the fact that if we do have a gender either door, it doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's men on the right, women on the left, or vice versa, you do have to balance it out. So make sure that it's
So
men
in the background,
inside.
that's why the men were all on the
Yeah.
phones and the
And-
women were all lifting on the other
and
side.
just to make
Sure.
it clear. And just in case there was any...
On the off chance.
On the off chance, I also made one of the men an African American, and I made one of the women an African American,
Right.
and I made one of the women who's deadlifting an Asian American, just to complete the full spectrum of representation. So it is unequivocally the most.
As a furry, I felt left out.
And
I know it's not a race thing, but I like fucking.
There
teddy
were
bears.
some transgender trolls going,
No.
I feel misrepresented here. She's like, are either of these characters in transition right now? Like, what's it? And so, what's funny is if you guys look at the comments in the Instagram, on the New Yorker's Instagram, you will see that I barely needed to even... the thing is, you let the work speak for itself. I love controversy, especially with a cartoon. I love controversy. I love it if it stirs up, thought, conversation, discussions.
Sure.
That's a great thing about cartoons, and I'm no stranger to it. I've been syndicated for 10 years. I've had all sorts of shit thrown my way about Ginger Megs, glorifying bullies, apparently. Groups. I've done, 15 years of editorial cartoons. I had my car coated in used engine oil in 2007. Yeah, because there was an editorial cartoon I did that was very controversial, and a group decided in reaction.
What was the cartoon?
I couldn't even tell you at this point. It was political. It was a very hot button topic in Perth, Western Australia.
Oh, right.
And
was it about the Eagles not getting enough Friday night games? Is that the problem?
That's pretty much the most
You
important
leave Ben
thing.
Cousins alone.
Here's some bloody engine oil for you bastard. Anyway, so yeah, my car,
You can tell
Hyundai
you can
accent.
tell at what stage of the mining boom that happened.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine any other town being so rich? They're like, let's just throw oil. Let's
coat this guy
with a fossil fuel.
in fucking Valvoline. Yeah. Who was that? John Laws. Lawsy did it.
Yeah.
So we had a real moment of, me and the editor back then, we had a real moment of, oh, mate, cartoons can still stir up a lot of controversy. And then literally, a few years later, Charlie Hebdo happened. So we had a real moment of, oh, okay, we've got to be careful here, because there is every now and then there's some unhinged people who will take a message and then appropriate it to their own, paradigm. So I've known this for a long time. Yet, this time around, and you know I don't engage in social media comments as a general rule when it comes to my work. I let the work speak for itself, sit back. We say this all the time. We create, let them comment.
Yeah.
But this time around, after about 4 days, just this relentless torrent of DMs.
So tell me,
and
so people were
comments.
DMing you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, from day one.
Saying what?
Calling me misogynist, sexist, saying I'm a piece of shit, rotten cunt. Just some real, bilious.
But besides what
vehement-
I sent you, what did
Oh, sorry. No. There were also women texting me, DMing me, and men commenting and calling me a piece of shit. I didn't count. It's in the thousands, not hundreds. Thousands. So I decided after 2 weeks later to go back and just clip them all and just go, all right, let's count them. Thousands. So at that point, I was like, fuck, this one's really...
What's it like being... Sorry, just to, before to stop you from the...
Being
Just to
Julian
stop the...
Assange?
To be in the... Because I remember... There was a controversy in Australia years ago with the Chaser doing the... So the genesis for that joke was an article that I wrote for the Chaser.
No.
Years and years and years ago.
Really?
And Chris Taylor...
Friend of the show.
Was the main actor on this sketch. What the sketch was it was something to do with kids with cancer. It was a Make-A-Wish Foundation.
That's right.
And the joke at the end, which Chris... Look, I think enough time's passed. If I'm telling tales out of school, I apologise. But he was like, he never really liked the joke, which was the tag was, oh, look, who cares? They'll be dead soon anyway.
Brutal.
Which he was like, yeah, I didn't really like that joke. But the genesis of the joke was when the Chaser was a satirical newspaper, much like The Onion.
Yeah, it was like an Australian version of The Onion.
Yeah. And
satirical, tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah. And I wrote a headline years and years. This was 15 years ago now.
Okay.
Which was Make-A-Wish Kid Wishes for Death.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
early days of Scott
it was
Dooley.
I was still at university. This was when I was
yeah.
starting
Right.
comedy. And Chris, I remember saying when it was all going on,
Yes.
and it was a huge scandal. It was ABC, which was the public broadcaster, and it was this whole thing. And I went for a beer with Chris, and he was like, it's actually kind of interesting to be in the centre of this kind of a maelstrom.
It is a maelstrom.
And so that's kind of my question to you is, what is it like to be in the centre of one in 2018 where
Yeah.
there's social media? Back then, people
What year was that?
This was 2007,
7, 8?
6, 7, 5, 5, 6, 7.
Something like
It
that,
was
yeah.
before. It was before a time when, because through Instagram and Twitter, people in our line of work, you can just contact us directly.
Oh, yeah. Emails.
And this
Yeah.
is different now. Like back then,
Yes.
it was different. And
Right.
Chris is quite neo-Luddite, so he's not constantly looking at Instagram and Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can
He's
miss,
good like that.
He can miss that personal stuff, whereas
Sure.
you're on there all the time.
Right. I'm on Instagram all the time. I deleted Facebook and Twitter off my phone some time ago. But I've always had Instagram on my phone because it's a visual medium, and a lot of the artists that I know follow me on there, and I
Sure.
follow them, but also we DM each other all the time.
Right.
So New Yorker cartoonists talk. We're all kind of friendly. We know each other. There's a shorthand. We have we have other apps that we talk to each other through. So there are reasons for me to be on there beyond just social media as it pertains to...
It's more a business tool.
It's a
right?
very much a business
Yeah.
tool, yeah. And plus, everyone sends their suggestions, and please send yours, to Jason Chatfield, right? They DM the suggestions for the cartoons for this show to Instagram.
So don't start your suggestion with you're a sexist, because we're just going to
Please,
delete that one.
Please, no. Can I tell you something? Most of our wonderful listeners did. They were like, right, here's one for you, racist, sexist piece of shit. I love it. They just relished in it.
That's where there's something in this, and Little Dum Dum Club Venn diagram comes together. Like that's
G'day, dickhead. Here's one.
All right, mate.
I love that. So yeah, there was a lot of that. In answer to your question of what it's like to be in the, it's not even the eye of the storm. It's on the edge of the storm. You're
just getting battered.
You're just getting battered. And so I deleted Instagram off my phone because it was literally just. It was a relentless torrent of messages, comments. It didn't stop for days. Here's where it changed. After about 2 days,
Yeah.
and at this point I still hadn't engaged. You will attest to this.
Well, you and I had quite a philosophical conversation, which we can
did.
talk about later. But
It's
go on.
surely relevant now is that, as an artist, you put your work out there, and a part of the deal that you make as an artist, and these aren't my words. This is from Tough Crowd back in 2004. Is like Colin Quinn, Bill Burr, 3 other, Paul Provenza. These guys talking about this.
Yeah.
And they put it very, very eloquently. They said, we get to say whatever we want. That's part of the deal. We live in a democracy as artists. We get to say whatever we want. But with that freedom comes the understanding that the second those words come out of your mouth or your pen, it's no longer in our control about how it's supposed to be interpreted. You can build in all the fail-safes you want and be so careful and, about how you say it, but once you put them out there, it's now out there, right? It's published. It's out.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
If you want to say anything you want, the payment is that. And I've always understood that. That's always been a part of the deal. When you publish
I agree. Yeah.
Art, I think, to me, is a form of therapy. Publication is a form of receiving feedback. Here's where it changed. About 2 or 3 days in, Sophie's Instagram started blowing up. My wife. And what had happened is...
Sorry, can you say that like Borat? Just take a bit of the sting.
My wife!
the sting out of this next part? Right.
My wife... So what happened was, because I wasn't engaging and responding to anyone, for whatever reason, that must have really riled them up. So they started trawling through my Instagram and found photos from literally years ago where I'd tagged Sophie. And then they went to her Instagram, started commenting on her photos and DMing her, saying, you should be ashamed to be married to such a woman-hating cunt. And more and more and more.
Man, imagine they found out about her paying for a birthday trip to Atlantic City.
Yeah, go back and listen to the previous episodes. You will be incensed. It's so... And so...
We took a bus.
We took a motherfucking bus to AC. I'm so happy they didn't read that. So at that point, I was like, all right, I asked
What's
for
the
this.
end goal, did you think, for them?
I think they just wanted a response.
It's just a response. That's always been my theory with these types.
For sure. They just want a response.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you've probably had way more experience being in radio over the last decade with people because it's a very engaging medium.
Yeah.
And it is something that people, they don't want to just bleat into the ether. They want to get a rise out of you. They want a response. So when they did that, I said to Sophie, listen, I signed up for this. This is my gig. This isn't you didn't sign up for this. You didn't ask for this crap. And she was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll fucking go. I was like, all right, calm down, Hulk. Just Bruce Banner. I saw her turning green. I was like, oh shit, no, sun's getting real low, Soph. So I said, no.
I get that joke now.
Oh, that's good.
I watched a Thor movie
of course
with Ashika.
Ragnarok?
Yeah, it was very funny.
Very funny.
Very funny.
New Zealand director.
Oh, man.
So funny.
Yeah. Oh, really funny.
Puss Off Ghost.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Look, it was... Every scene was pretty meta.
Yeah.
But as someone that doesn't watch superhero films, we were like, yeah, that's exactly what they'd say. Like, yeah. It was very... It was good.
I loved that. It's one of my favorites of all time. So to that end, you understand the reference. So I'm so
proud of myself. If you could see me now, listeners, I'm actually pulling suspenders out with my thumbs.
I was going to ask why the fuck you're wearing suspenders.
It was just in case I said something I was proud of.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't expect it to be this soon.
We call them fail-safe suspenders, just on the off chance you're proud.
Once you hear that slap on my boob, that means I've done something I'm pretty happy with.
So this is about day 3 or 4, and I said to Sophie...
Are you getting down at this stage? Like, does it take its toll? Like, it would take its toll. Because I deleted all that stuff for that reason, because I don't care what people think.
I know, and I know that your wife manages your Instagram.
She's, yeah.
And Sophie is the same. She hates Instagram, so I manage hers.
Sure.
So to that end,
Did we marry the wrong people?
Yeah, I think you may. Let's do a swap. So she can marry Sophie. Yeah.
I knew, listen, what is this, episode 18, 19? I knew it would take, I knew under 20 would be swapping wives.
Yeah, but it's them living together and you and I living together.
Yeah. Brady Bride style.
Odd couple. So I saw them all popping up on hers and I was like, oh, fuck, that's no good. So I started blocking and deleting and whatever.
Sure.
And she said, no, let me add him. I'm like, no, you don't want in the fight with these irrational pigs. So and here's the thing. Let's both get this out of the way. We acknowledge how they misinterpret it. There's no mistaking. Yes, we realize how you misinterpreted this cartoon as sexist. We get it. We know that there's inherent misogyny daily, and we know the experience and living within the patriarchy and all of those and the microaggressions. We're abundantly aware of that stuff. You and I would say, are pretty progressive people and consider ourselves not right-wing crazies. But when you reach out directly and then reach out directly, the irony of reaching out to someone's wife to abuse them when you're trying to
make a point about misogyny.
Yeah, I can't. I literally don't have words for it, for the irony. And so then one day, it was like the weekend, and I was at Loverboy, this great bar in the East Village, and I was having brunch, and I had one drink, and I went, maybe I'll reinstall Instagram.
Oh, why'd you do this?
A huge mistake. So I reinstalled it, and I actually felt this real moment of, you know what? It's fine. Let them fight. Just let them do whatever they do. Let them fight, squabble amongst themselves.
Did they start squabbling amongst themselves?
They did, and thank you to both the listeners who dived in. You didn't have to do that. But also...
No, you did.
The new
You are
listeners.
our unholy army of the net.
Of trolls. There were a lot of people, in fact, welcome new listeners, tons of new listeners to the pod.
Oh, that's nice.
Who liked the cartoon, saw what it was doing.
a lot of disappointed alt-right people right now.
Sorry. This is Steve Bannon's.
When Kevin McGuinness and the Proud Boys were like, hey, you know what? I think these guys are all right. And now they're listening to us. So, I've got feelings.
Yeah. So a lot of new listeners, I got literally thousands of hate follows. I'm up to nearly 10,000 now, which is insane. A lot of them are people who are trawling through my feed looking for inherent sexism, which is fine. But then what happened was someone said, I don't know what it was. I was in an expansive and quixotic kind of mood.
Sure.
And just...
So pissed.
Yeah. Someone said, you're a sexist and this cartoon should have been edited out of this magazine. 2 men or 2 women would have been funny. This is as low as the Obama monkey cartoons in 2008. Nasty and low, vomit, 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 vomit emoji. And then for some reason, money emoji. I don't know why. Anyway.
That's a long bow, that.
Yeah, and I thought, well, you've taken some time to consider that comment because you've gone with the emojis as well. And you clearly have the
it's so thoughtfulness into it.
Right? It's that last one that got me. And something snapped in my brain and I went, I'm going to just answer back to you.
Good.
Just one answer back.
Yeah.
And I've regretted it every second since because what I realized was that behavior, that level of hyperbole was not only encouraged by her confirmation bias bubble, but rewarded. So when I asked her about it, everyone...
This was on her personal Facebook page? Or
yeah, what happened was...
She tagged you in a...
She tagged me in her personal Facebook page. And then also she trawled through all my other photos and kept putting comments on like photos of Sophie and stuff like that, which is why I decided to engage with this person. She didn't comment once. She went through all my stuff and
so clearly a very busy person with lots on her plate.
Yeah, real time.
Lots of things to do.
So I thought...
And you know, I'd bet... Mm-hmm. My pound to your dollar.
Yeah.
No, that's not a saying.
Sure, it's
but it felt
71
like
cents at the moment.
felt like something. Yeah. She's listening now.
Maybe.
And getting a real rush from this mention.
Oh,
I feel like that's
a
lot of the thing. So that was the negative side of it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot. The positive side. Was some incredibly weird celebrity encounter.
Very.
Reggie Watts put it on his Instagram and Twitter.
He put it on his Instagram and Twitter the day of, and he went in to fight for us.
Oh, did he?
He went in, and everyone who said it was sexist and misogynist, he came back with just a thoughtful, not aggressive.
I think it's your idea. I do like, and I
Okay,
know
I feel
like the coach who's complaining about the referees after a loss. Like,
That's
but
funny.
I think when you listen back, that was your joke, and we didn't, and it was such a good idea that it was just like, no, that's great.
Well,
but anyway, he went.
May I, as an addendum to that, I don't know what point in time this is, but great news, Scott.
Go on then.
We've sold another one.
Another cartoon?
To the New Yorker magazine.
Is it the one with the guy saying, back that caboose up, Jiggles?
That's the one.
And all the men are high-fiving around a board table?
Yeah, well, don't spoil it. Yes. In fact, what's funny is it is one of the ones that you pitched on the podcast and that we drew up.
Oh,
after
yeah.
the fact. Repitched it twice and it got bought the second time. And it is about social media comment sections. I'm not going to say
fantastic.
anything else about it.
Oh, I hope it gets put on the. We have been saying we hope
Yeah.
it gets put on the Instagram so people will be
Immediately
like, "Oh, these pricks!
Look at them. They were trolling the whole time. They knew what they were doing.
The classic bait and bait."
I tell you who does know what they're doing, Emma.
Oh,
She
yeah.
knows exactly
Oh, yeah.
the dynamics of this. So, Reggie Watts, every time he would just have this thing, he says, nope, completely gender balanced, check again and think before jumping to desired conclusions. Also, you're missing the point entirely. Thank you, Reggie Watts.
I think that's fair. I think
I think that's fairly balanced. I get, that people think that putting the two women working out the background is like, oh, women are in the background. Okay, great. But also the men are on their phones as well and in the drawing. I get it.
Knowing what has happened,
Yes.
would you change it?
Absolutely not. No, I stand by it 100%.
Right.
I love a cartoon to start an argument. I love a cartoon to start a debate, a conversation. I wouldn't go back and change it.
No, I agree.
at all.
No, I wouldn't.
Mark Norman said to me, what I would have done, because he just had a rant on his podcast about this. So he is already on the warpath. So he said, listen, I love it. Yeah. He said, but just as a fail-safe for you, if you don't like the feedback, he said, I would always shit on the guy just to be safe. I'm like, okay, all right. And then Carol Radziwill from the Real Housewives of New Jersey decided to put it on her Instagram and say, is the New Yorker unconsciously sending sexist messages here? Why isn't the man portrayed as on his phone?
She's on a show called Real Housewives.
Yeah, of New Jersey. So that, again, it sparked up again for me. Deleted Instagram again because I just got too many DMs.
Right.
She has maybe 700,000 followers. And I think she just left the show. And when Reese motherfucking Witherspoon posted it on her Instagram, that's when she has 13 million followers.
Sure.
So I got an amazing spike, both in podcast subscriptions and in followers.
So how many?
I tracked it.
Before
Yeah,
this
I
went
tracked
up.
it. Yeah.
How many followers did you have? And now, how many did you have?
I had 5,600 when it went up. I now have 9,400.
So you pretty much doubled your followers.
I've never seen growth like that in anything. Yeah.
That's what she
and
said.
Thank
Thank you very much.
You've done well there.
That's
Get the
the end of the
suspenders
podcast.
out.
See you later.
Get those suspenders out.
I'm just going to slap myself with my suspenders. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that respect, with Reese Witherspoon having that many supporters and friends, they were like, "Oh, I want to see more of this crap." They jumped onto our Instagram, saw all of our other ones, and that every cartoon underneath is like us plugging the pod, basically. And they just jumped
funny.
on the old pod. So welcome, new listeners. But I would reiterate the point that I understand that putting something out there like this is going. We don't get to choose how it's interpreted.
That was the thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Was this idea that it was thoughtless? It's not.
Right.
It's. I think in this kind of climate, and I say this kind of. I'm pussyfooting my way into this.
Okay.
Is this idea that I think there are so many idiots being deliberately malicious.
Yeah, easily.
That I find that thoughtlessness is just as hangable, offence now.
I find that more offensive.
It's depending on the topic, but
Sure.
yeah.
But
I
nothing
think
in a New Yorker cartoon is there by accident.
Precisely.
We overthink. I think this podcast is testament to the fact that we overthink every single detail.
Yeah, exactly.
To the nth degree. Nothing is there by mistake.
so.
But people's tripwire, they've set up these tripwires in their mind.
Well, yeah.
So
There's
that-
certain words that just and things
Yeah.
that kind of trigger people
Literally
and
called triggers, yeah.
Well, listen, if you are joining us for the first time, what we do is we listen to what a terrible person Jason is for about 20 minutes at the top.
Yeah.
And then we get in and pitch some cartoons. I've got so many jokes.
I am so excited because you texted me this week.
I did.
You've texted me twice in the last 2 weeks, and both times I got excited and angry. The first one was when I was at Catch a Rising Star in New Jersey doing a weekend Friday, Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, this hotel that I'm staying at is full of Hasidic Jewish people because there's a bar mitzvah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you said...
What did I say?
What did you say? What do you think you said? What do you remember saying
I
about
can't
this?
remember.
You said, I said, there's a bar mitzvah here, and you go... see if you can sneak in and see what a real man looks like. So thanks for that.
And do you know what?
Yeah.
It's actually spawned a joke, and I'm going to kick off with this joke.
Do it. Let's do it.
Batman's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Which is the rabbi saying, and in the eyes of the Lord, you are no longer a bat boy, but a Batman.
This is amazing. That's in. It's going in. Is that the banger?
Is that? No. Oh, no. Now, the other...
Because the second text was, I've got a gold-encrusted banger for
Okay,
this week.
I think this is a banger.
Okay.
Should we do the banger now, or
Is
should
this
we wait?
the Outback Steakhouse pick of the week?
This is my Outback Steakhouse pick of the week.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
So new listeners will explain that later.
If this gets in, I buy Jason Outback Steakhouse. Okay.
Let's do it.
Mother and father.
Okay.
Waiting up. They've obviously been waiting up.
Yeah.
Standing, like hands on hips, kind of the classic
yeah.
look.
Arms folded. Yep.
Tapping
the foot.
Teenager, tapping a foot maybe. Teenage daughter coming in.
Yep.
Mother says to teenage daughter, she's obviously coming in late after curfew.
Yeah.
Your father and I were so worried we nearly started a podcast.
That's amazing.
Right?
That's amazing. And I assume it's like a true crime, like missing.
Teacher's Pet. Have you been listening to
unsolved-
this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is what I thought it was. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So enough people are listening to this now that it's part of the
It's number one
zeitgeist.
in America now.
I know. It's insane. And you know what? Okay, so we did
How many fucking tweets did Reese Witherspoon do for him?
because after Serial 1 and 2, like people just became the spike in true crime podcasts was astonishing, and then it was a race to like, you know what. How good can we make these things? Because they're so compelling. And there's a series on HBO called Sharp Objects with Amy Adams, which is another.
We just started watching the
So
first episode.
Great. I think I'm in 5 episodes. It's amazing. It's really, really good. Yeah. And a friend of the show, Sam Bungie, also started West Cork, which you enjoyed very much.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Bungie, ex-Walkley employee, now over in the UK. So it is a thing, having true crime podcasts. We once pitched a cartoon, one of your ideas, which was the detective in the other office with the big desk, and the other detectives, sort of snarking behind his back, going, "Yeah, he thinks it's such a big deal since his case got turned into a true crime podcast."
So I've got a twist on that.
Yeah, do it.
Okay,
because it got knocked back.
So it's a judge.
Yeah.
Sentencing kind of hearing.
Yeah.
Given the extreme podcastable nature of this crime, I have to apply the maximum penalty.
Ooh.
Or given the I just think given the podcastable nature of
yeah.
this.
I've
Let's save that for another week. But
yeah, I think there's something to work on there because I've been watching the Manafort trial. And there's some language.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I mean, that is a
That's
gold
a spicy
mine.
meatball.
That is a spicy meatball. But that's given me so many, because the terminology that is being used is incredible.
Yeah.
Just blatant crimes that are being, I rest my case has never felt more like you never got a shiver down your spine more when they say I rest my case.
Yeah.
So I love that idea of we almost started a podcast.
We almost started a podcast.
Is that the title of the episode? I don't know. Anyway,
maybe
we almost started.
So, all right, I'm just going to bang through a couple.
Let's do it.
This one's really meta,
Okay,
but I
good.
kind of like it.
I like meta. Okay.
It's someone talking to a copy of the New Yorker magazine.
Yes.
Saying, you really shouldn't call yourself that unless both your parents were born in New York.
I can say that. My friend's a subscriber to the New Yorker.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I think there's something in...
Because you know that I did. Nothing annoys me more than the person that says they're a New Yorker.
Oh, believe me, it's half my fucking act.
Yeah.
I know. I have material about it, and it is a thing.
Did I ever tell you about I was at I don't know where I was. I was doing gigs or something. No, I wasn't doing it. I was doing press somewhere. And
I hope you bought your suspenders.
I did take my suspenders. Rainbow for television. And I think I was maybe promoting the special that I did, and I did it through a record label.
Which
so
one?
they treated Debut, and they treated me like
It's on iTunes now.
a musician because it was released through a record label.
Right.
So they sent me out with like a hand. I think it might have been one of the handlers, and they drive you from radio station to television studios and blah blah blah. Anyway, I was talking to this girl who was either one of the record label people or worked at one of the radio stations or
woman. I think
whatever.
you'll find.
Woman. And she goes, we were just kind of making small talk, and She goes, well, where do you live? I said, I live in New York. She goes, I used to live there. I went, oh, right, whereabouts? And she goes, do you know Times Square? I went, yeah. Yeah, I know it.
No, I don't. I've never heard of it.
And I said, you lived in Times Square?
Are you an M&M?
And I said, how long did you do that for? That would drive me insane. She goes, about 15 days. I said, well, firstly, that's a holiday.
I'll stop you there. I've got friends who have been here longer than that, and they're on holiday. 21 days.
She was like, I used to live in New York.
You don't get
and
to say...
She stayed at the Hilton double day.
Oh... You didn't have a lease. You barely have you didn't have a credit rating. You didn't have to fight for health insurance. You didn't live. You don't get to say you lived in New York.
When I was living in New York.
I used to come here. So
I lived in Iceland. It was a stopover on my way to Paris.
It was a stopover at Reykjavik on the way to Paris, but I kind of lived in the terminal like Tom Hanks.
Just understood it.
Yeah. You know this, that I used to come over for a month at a time for years every year to do mics, basically, just to get a foothold.
Yeah.
And I would never in a billion years presume to say I lived here. I lived in New York.
I still feel weird saying I live here now.
Yeah,
I've
well,
been here for half a decade.
Yeah, but you're moving to Manhattan. Anyway, so
that's true. Okay,
what's your next one, mate?
This one I think you'll like.
Yes.
Person getting a blood transfusion, holding up the bag of blood.
Yep.
Sorry, is this vegan?
Funny. Okay.
That was very Chatfield.
A lot of iron in this one.
A lot, this one's Okay, I've got two more.
Good. Jeez, you're on fire.
Three more. I've got a bunch more. Okay, so I think you'll like this. A bunch of like dead bodies on the floor.
Okay.
People are just falling. Men are just falling, like plummeting
I'll
to
stop you
earth.
there. Is this some kind of homosexual thing in Iran?
No,
or ISIS or something?
Plummeting to the earth. They've obviously fallen, splattered.
All right.
And one woman is saying to the other one, hallelujah. Really?
What is that?
It's raining men.
Oh!
And her going, really? You'd say hallelujah? Look at all these dead people.
Is it who sang that? Aretha
The Weather Girls.
The Weather Girls. Of course they did.
Of course they did. One of their many hits.
Yeah. I think that's a Mad Magazine cartoon.
It might be. Yeah.
That's a great... It's funny.
Maybe in
it's
1987
absurd.
as well.
There's a cartoonist called Dan Collins that does a lot of very dark stuff like that I can see. When you said lots of dead bodies falling on the ground, I immediately pictured Dan Collins' style, just with like brains splattered on the side.
Oh, right,
really gruesome, really non-PC shit. It's great. Yeah, I like the idea. I think it's a Mad Magazine cartoon. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Two more.
Yep.
One's a bit of a talker, so I'll just do this one first.
Great.
Two dogs talking.
Yes.
And one of the dogs says, I can hear it too. Does that make me racist?
A dog whistle, that's good. That's not bad. Again, letting people figure it out themselves
or are
is
we
the best way.
or does that mean we're both racist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But
there's something there. Would I say there's something in that? You know what? Dog whistle politics has... We've transcended it now. We're literally now saying, like not NBC, Fox News is literally now saying literalisms, saying, are Mexicans ruining America? Are immigrants and brown people taking over from the whites?
Well, maybe we change it then.
Yeah, they're talking literalisms.
Maybe it's like a dog symbol. Like it's something that's like...
You know how much I love a dog symbol?
Yeah. Like it's someone just banging a symbol or a dog.
That's pretty good.
Like
that's pretty good.
Dog timpani drum. I don't know what you like.
No, I like it. Yeah. All right, let's yeah. All right. We'll chuck it in the batch, eh?
But great. How does it look, though?
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll see. I don't know how I'd approach it as far as like... Because you want to get there as clearly as possible and let people figure it out for themselves without handing it to them on a spoon. But there is a lot to go on there.
It might be a daily, like the idea of Trump. The idea that he's gone past the dog whistle and now he's using the dog...
The dog trumpet.
Dog trumpet.
Sorry, Reg Mombassa.
Yeah.
That's his band's name.
The dog trumpet.
Yeah, okay.
Or like...
dog trumpet, dog foghorn, it's a dog horn, it's, what do you call it? Megaphone, dog megaphone.
Dog electric guitar.
The trumpet. The dog megaphone. Yeah. The dog megaphone, the dog cast. It's a dog cast.
Dog cast.
Yeah. I mean, it's really gone beyond
Yeah, you're right.
trying to nudge. There's a way to figure out how to do that without it being too SS.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, listeners, SS, go back to episode 1.
Go back to episode. Now this one, one I want to talk through.
Yeah.
Medusa at a hairdresser,
Yep.
which is pretty common.
We've actually had a premise of this before, previously. Yep.
Medusa, the snake's all up.
Yeah.
Her saying to the hairdresser, it's like it has a mind of its own.
Yes.
I like this one.
Yes.
The snakes are all down over her face, like straight down, all down.
Okay.
And it's her saying to the hairdresser, every time the weather turns cold, it does this.
That's not bad.
You know how snakes are cold-blooded? And it's still go to sleep in the winter.
Good. That's pretty good. They're reptiles. Their reptilian blood needs to be in the sun for them to warm up and move. So this always happens in the cold weather. Because you're making a play on the fact that when people have frizzy hair and the humidity...
That's right.
In the cold, they do that.
Yeah.
I think people will get that.
I think, yeah.
There's enough recognition.
There's enough there, yeah.
Yes, people go for haircuts.
The snake's getting agitated at the sight of the scissors, and
you've really.
Yeah, I've gone in.
Yeah.
And just I'd avoid using them if I were you. Like,
because you turn to stone if she looks you in the eye. Is that the Medusa?
That's the Medusa I know and love.
Wow. That's great. I like it. I love a Medusa cartoon. I'll scribble it up and see what they say.
Is there something in the idea of the snakes being full after eating? You know, they get
That's not bad.
my God. She feed them?
Oh, this is it. It's after the snakes have fed, she has a fucking gigantic skull. Because they all go into the head. And then she's like, oh, I'm stuffed. It's just a giant head. And it's just lumpy and full of food. It's in like a shape of a rat.
Yeah.
Or like a mouse that they've eaten, or, because snakes eat like rats and spiders and mice and stuff. She's got a bunch of mice in her head.
Yeah.
Like the shape, the outline of a mouse. That's absurd. I love it.
That's silly.
I love it. All right, that's a totally different cartoon.
That is a different cartoon, but I like it.
Great. Can I just mention as an addendum to what we were talking about before? After the New Yorker I did get an email from the editor and from the cartoon editor saying, please ignore all the crazies, all the lowest common denominator people who just jump the gun. And you're great. We love it. And then, this is a week after they posted it on the New Yorker Instagram. They posted it on the New Yorker Cartoons Instagram.
Oh, good.
And it all started up again. They're like, all right. It was almost like all right, brace for impact.
That's
Get ready. Yeah, put your heads between your knees because guess what? Here it comes again. Thank you, New Yorker. I love you very much.
That's great.
Okay, so I got a bunch this week.
Okay.
And I want to get through them because I've got some great suggestions this week
Oh,
too. My first one, very silly. It's a visual gag without a caption. That's my favorite kind.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's a tub of hummus with legs, and it's running. Okay, It's running, but there's a carrot on a stick that it's running.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
There's a carrot.
Yeah. No, I get it.
The hummus wants the carrot.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's attached obviously to the tub of like it's hanging over its head. So that it's kind of like a donkey with an apple.
I understand the joke.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, I love illustrating a joke that you got and then just trying to really sell it.
Yeah.
Do you think we can do anything else with that? Like, is there a better way to... Or is there another... is there a celery and dip? I don't know. I just figured, carrots and hummus are a pretty common
Yeah, no, I think that's
pairing.
the joke. Where's the hummus?
Yeah. It's just like running towards this carrot that's dangling on a string. Is it a full carrot or is it a slice of carrot?
I think it's going to be a baby carrot.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
baby
yeah,
carrot. Yeah. Nice. It's so dumb.
That is so dumb, but I really like that.
It's classic Chatfield.
That's good.
Great.
I like it.
All right, here's the other one, and I want your take on this because you're a cheeky non-smoker. Went to the baseball with my mate and his girlfriend, and after the game, having a few beers at the pub, and they wanted to go outside for a smoke. She's looking through her bag for her smokes, and she's like, I can't find them. And then he goes, is that not them? And she goes, and I quote, Oh, no, those are my workout cigarettes.
Fuck out of here.
Those are my workout cigarettes. What she does, she gets up at 5:30, goes to spin at SoulCycle, and then as a reward gives herself a menthol, gives herself a cigarette.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's her. That's like every day she does it. They're called, and she has a packet of her workout cigarettes. I've never heard that before.
That's unbelievable.
We might, sneak a cheeky little.
I have a little every
yeah,
now
once
and then
in a
I'll have
while
a smoke.
when you're
Yeah.
having a drink, but that's it. But isn't that? I was
That's a
flabbergasted.
commitment.
Isn't that a commitment?
Yeah.
So I thought, what if it's like a guy sort of turning the apartment upside down, like a Manhattan apartment, couch, cushions everywhere, just looking. She's going, honey, I can't. Have you seen my workout cigarettes?
Well,
and when I asked him, he goes, yeah, I've got my workout cigarettes as well. I went, I'm sorry, I missed that train.
Who are these people?
What line are you on? Yeah, he's living up in Hell's Kitchen or something. Yeah. Unbelievable. I was genuinely astonished. And then we went to the Comedy Cellar later that week, went outside after the show, pulled out the workout cigarettes. Had a couple of smokes. So they're not sacrosanct. They're not completely, they had a couple. Isn't that?
That's weird. That's done me. I can't think of a single
I
thing.
just saw your head bend in half.
Yeah, that
at
was weird.
Yeah.
Workout cigarettes.
Yeah, is there something else there, though? My workout something?
I think
Honey, have you
workout
seen my
something.
workout something? I wanted to run it through the Dools meter, basically, is that sparked something in my brain and I couldn't ignore it.
Yeah.
Wrote it down in a pad, and I thought, Dools will have something for this. Like gym pants. Have you seen my gym
Yeah.
iPod? Have you seen my gym? Let's not go back there. No, okay. Have you seen
let's stay away from gyms.
Have you seen my...
Let's circle back to that.
Yeah,
That's-
cool.
Yeah.
Here's a silly one for you. This is really just one to piss you off. 'Cause
Sure.
You know I always throw one in. It's a little fairy coming through the window.
Right.
Like the Tooth Fairy style, wings, glitter, little wand.
Yep.
There's a caption at the top, but the thing she's saying is, jet fuel can't melt steel beams. It's the Truth Fairy.
Oh, that's pretty funny. That's really funny. Is it? I don't think you can have that caption. You can't have her saying that.
No. That's for you.
Yeah.
That's for your benefit.
That's a real Tumblr forward
yeah,
joke.
Yeah. The truth, and it's not the Truth Fairy. It's the Truth Fairy.
The Truth Fairy. Yeah.
And so she has to be saying something that is an inalienable truth, like maybe like an unfortunate truth about life, some kind of
French
French existentialist quandary.
No, it's got to be something.
We all die in the end. But it's coming through a kid's bedroom window or something, like the Tooth Fairy.
It's going to be something just like
and you leave money under your...
green juice is mostly sugar or something like something like that. Like
that's great. Matcha is bad for you. Yeah. That's what I kind of wanted to go with. Something that's an unfortunate truth about something that you otherwise want to believe.
Yeah.
You know,
intermittent fasting doesn't work.
Something so specific. I think that's great. I'm
just trying to think of those trends, those kind of health trends at the moment.
All the things like Tabata, TRX,
ketogenic,
ketogenic diets. Ketogenic diets stop working. They peter off over time.
Yeah.
Or like,
what about this?
No one cares about your workout routine.
It's a well-worn kind of it's a kind of a hacky joke.
Yeah.
But the idea of like cavemen did paleo and their life expectancy was 32.
Oh, yeah. Paleo's not bad. See, okay, so you and I have a theory. Fuck it, we'll say it on the pod.
No, don't say it on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
That's our theory.
Yeah, all right. No, we'll keep it quiet.
But
paleo is probably...
Paleo is in the wheelhouse,
Yeah, because if we go too zeitgeist... Yeah, paleo is not a good diet for you. Or, paleo won't make you...
What about if it's just something like you're not big boned or like...
Oh, Jesus, that's a bit rough. What if we mix it with one of yours from previous, I think the last episode,
right?
Which was, nobody cares about your dolphin dream.
Oh.
What if it's that? What if it's a Tooth Fairy coming in and it's just the, person in your bed.
Right.
Just going, and the Tooth Fairy's coming through the window. It's like... a dollar.
I think it's got to be...
No one cares about your stupid dolphin dream.
I think it's got to be more like... No, it's got to be more kind of trendy. That thing of you're trying to improve yourself and it's not right. You're failing.
Yeah.
Atkins diets, paleo, diets are a good one.
Diets are a good one.
Relationshipy things.
He's just not that into you?
Yeah, something like, in that kind of realm.
Yeah,
like,
okay. He's not going to text back. The Truth Fairy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Or is it a social thing of, I think we've explored this very early on, the idea of saying you too when the waitress says enjoy your meal.
We had a cowboy that had been self-exiled, self-imposed
That's right,
exile.
he was out in the
He's out in the
range.
sticks, and some other weary traveller has sat down at the campfire at midnight with him. He's like, me? I said you too when the waitress asked, what would you like?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, enjoy your
Dark,
meal
like
or
Kill
whatever.
Bill-esque. Like,
Yeah. Something like one of
Mesa.
those foibles, like
yeah.
like everyone did see you spill that sauce or whatever.
Yeah.
I still think
It was a
intermittent
pick. It wasn't a scratch.
intermittent fasting doesn't work.
That's pretty
I think
good. I think that's not bad. As long as it's specific. The reason I like it is its specificity is always funny.
Yeah.
But people's awareness of it, it's a buzzword that people have been using a lot more lately. Like, it's the same as ketogenic diets, ketosis. Putting your body in a ketogenic state isn't going to fix your Toblerone addiction.
Or is there something like your Game of Thrones theories are wrong or like something like that?
Or Westworld. Yeah.
Or Westworld or like...
Yeah, my problem with that...
You're the only one that doesn't understand Stranger Things or something like something that... I'm just trying... It's a pity Donnie Darko's not out.
What if it's you'll never get through your Netflix playlist? You know, your lists on playlists?
Yeah. Do people still do that, though?
I don't know. You'll never get through your list of podcasts. You know, everyone's got a long list of podcasts they listen to. Hopefully they've listened to this one.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I just still think intermittent fasting.
Okay. We keep circling back to it, and I really like...
I love Truth Fairy.
Proper
That's
reaction.
so funny.
Isn't it great?
Oh, it's so funny.
It's the same as I have that other one that I really want to just keep, putting in every week of just Hell's Waiting Room and putting a new one there. Oh, I stopped at the top of the subway stairs.
That's right.
Like a different one each week.
Yeah.
And then they'll just buy one eventually. Just go, oh, fuck it. All right, we'll buy it. Just to shut you up. We'll never run it, but we'll buy it.
That's fine.
Just to stop you pitching it. The jet fuel can't melt steel booms. That was just
good.
That was just for you. Okay, I think I have a daily maybe. It's
Go on.
the back of, and this is anticipating more damning evidence as it pertains to Trump, his son, the Russia meeting, the Manafort trial, is just a couple of guys wearing MAGA hats. You've interacted with many of them.
Yes.
Watching the whole thing unfold or watching a new scandal unfold and going, you know what? If nothing else, this whole presidency's really shaken my trust in hats. Or hats with words on them.
I always like that there was a time in this country when you could trust a hat.
Yeah,
Like
that was one we pitched as a daily
pitched something
a few times, actually.
along those lines.
There was a time in this country when words on a hat meant something.
We
pitched it 3 different ways in there. Went for it, but that wasn't bad.
So what's yours?
The 2 guys have the MAGA hats, right?
Yeah.
Make America Great Again. And it's like, this presidency is really shaking my trust in hats. Like, it's not trust in the president, trust in the, deep state, trust in democracy, trust in our trust in the Constitution. It's my trust in
the hats.
Yeah, nothing else. This presidency is really shaking my trust in hats. Because people fucking believe a hat, don't they?
Yeah.
Make America Great Again. He didn't. Fuck.
But
now what am I meant to believe? Hats are the hat.
Are you calling my hat a liar?
Yeah, it's almost as if my hat was not telling the truth.
What if it's, as a liberal, I'm upset, but as someone who writes very funny banners, it's what a time to be alive.
Hat slogan guy.
Well, no, I was thinking
Banner slogan guy.
more like placards, because they're always so funny.
Placard salesman is gonna list on the stock market. He's gonna go public, IPO. Placards, Placard Inc. is having an IPO.
Yeah.
What a time to
What
be
if
alive.
he's got the placards?
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's saying like, I reckon in 2 more scandals we'll be able to go public.
Yeah, that's it. That's the joke. In 2 more scandals.
That's stupid, isn't it?
That's so stupid. It might just work.
That's
half of our cartoons that got sold.
I want to go back to the hat thing.
Yeah.
What if it's so? What if it's the guy nuclear holocaust
Yeah.
has happened and
Yeah.
stuff, looking at the hat, I should never have listened to you. That's the one he feels betrayed by.
That's
Also,
what I was thinking. You have a fucking banana on your shirt.
This is the tribute banana.
This is a banana that I keep sending you that you fucking hate.
I hate the
Every
banana,
time
the Facebook banana.
We're having a really great constructive conversation. I'll throw in this dancing banana emoji guy, and you'll be like, that fucking banana. So now you're wearing it on your shirt, and I'm very happy
Very
about
annoyed.
it. That's great.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
as good as a dog in a bag.
Yeah.
That's great, mate. That's fantastic. Okay, so we've got a nice heavy sack
not a
of
bad
cartoons
batch.
this week, and
Not
I'm
a-
very happy about it.
Not a bad batch.
Yeah, not a bad batch at all. So I would like to move on to.
Oh, we've got listeners. Oh, I've got a listener submission from.
I'd love you
I've
to
got a celebrity listener
kick off
submission.
with a celebrity. We've really hit the big time now. We get some celebrity.
This is
listener
a
suggestions.
celebrity. This is a. And I'm going to say it. Good friend of the show.
Okay, we've moved beyond Spence.
Don Joyride.
Oh, hello.
Of the world famous One Day Crew.
Long time
and
listener, first time
long time
caller.
listener, first time. Okay, is there something in this? Very rough idea, but
Great.
being angry at your golden retriever puppy
Yeah.
for not being the savvy investment you thought it would be once you realize it doesn't retrieve bullion.
Golden retriever.
So,
That's so silly.
what I was thinking was like,
Oh, please suggest every week.
Was-
That's great.
was
It's so silly.
if it's coming back with like a pigeon or something.
Yeah, or even just something like the wrong kind. Like
Yeah.
it's not gold bullion. It's like something that is fake gold. It's like, oh no, mine's defective. It keeps bringing back cubic zirconias.
Or,
it keeps bringing back,
Golden Girls DVD.
It keeps bringing back golden girls. I actually put B. Arthur in its mouth. No, wrong one. Golden retriever.
Or if it's like come back with a pigeon, it's like golden retriever my ass. Or they should call you a pigeon retriever. Or, you know, like
yeah. Golden retriever.
I like the idea of
Is
getting
there-
angry at a golden retriever puppy,
Sure.
which is impossible.
Is it Ari Gold in its mouth? It's dragged him back. He's got a stupid earpiece in. Golden. I like the idea that it's defective. They've bought it stupidly. Are they wearing sunglasses? They're wearing sunglasses.
Well, that's up to
They
you.
bought it because it's an investment. They wanted it to go and retrieve gold, and they've gone and bought the right. They haven't bought blue chip stocks instead, shares. Gold,
yeah.
no gold. All the money, all the futures are in gold. What if he sends a sled load of golden retrievers into a gold mine? Fly, my puppies! Bring me back all of the gold.
Sounds like a super villain.
Just die. It's like
Oh, the dead puppy.
It's like the monkeys with wings, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi, my pretties. They just all fall.
The
They were monkeys with bat wings, weren't they?
the
Gold retrievers, gold. They come back with comedy gold. Come back with some fucking sweet zingers. Gold.
We're getting dangerously into Daily Telegraph
sorry, yeah,
headlines during the Commonwealth Games. Like a picture of some athletes with golden retrievers. Like,
Golden,
yeah.
yeah. Solid gold. Gold, yeah. Wasn't there a fruit company? Golden something?
Golden Circle.
Golden Circle. Golden.
SPC had the guys,
God, that's what it was.
the rowers,
rowers.
the awesome foursome. Awesome spelled OAR for our foreign listeners. Do you see what they've done there?
Yeah.
Because when you row, you use oars.
Do you? Yeah.
Something always happens to one of those guys. Like whenever
Totally.
there's a relay team or
Yeah.
like four dudes,
Yeah.
three of them will be fine. One of them will fuck up so badly, like
like
the
human.
Mean Machine,
Yeah.
Neil Brooks.
Yeah. Human nature.
The human, which was the human nature one?
Bardot. You
Or
there's-
Bardot was a page one
Okay.
rewrite. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
count them as like.
Rewrite.
I wouldn't count them as like. I wouldn't compare them to.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't compare them to Thorpe, Climmy, Hacky, and the other one.
I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah.
I've let myself down.
But
my
Grant
family.
Hackett. Grant Hackett's a classic example.
Hacko. Yeah, okay. You're right. Grant Hackett, isn't it? I was
Did
actually.
one of the awesome foursome go crazy?
Nah, I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Because
you can see 3 of them being given cushy jobs at Macquarie, and then one of them being like,
totally.
I want to start a band.
One of them definitely came out at one point and said, I've let down my friends, my family, my teammates, my girlfriend.
If you're an athlete ever respecting asking to respect your privacy,
at
you
this
are
time.
fucked up.
Yeah, I was almost about to call a press conference last week and go, I'm very sorry. I issue apology on behalf of my
Let down the club.
my pod mate. I've let down my club. I've let down my wife and the New Yorker, my sponsors. I would ask for some privacy at this time. Please stop adding me on Twitter. Yeah. So I love that suggestion. By the way,
it's a good idea from
it's a cracker
from Joyride.
Very good. Yeah.
I just don't know how it looks.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's someone bragging about it.
About a golden
Honey,
retriever.
all our problems are over. This little guy can retrieve gold.
My days at the mine are done.
Yeah.
I'm outsourcing it to this golden
That's funny.
retriever.
Outsourcing it to a golden retriever puppy.
He's got a little mining helmet on. I love a dog with a helmet on. Let's muck around
very,
with it.
very niche fetish.
Yeah.
You do you.
I do have dancing bananas on my. So yeah, all right, that's great. Thank you for that suggestion, by the way. What a cracker. Okay, so
also the first one that's ever been sent to me.
Really?
Well,
yeah.
Because I never check my messages or anything.
Are you upset about it? I'm pretty happy about that.
No, he knows how to get to me.
Echelon.
He knows.
You've gone around me.
Yeah, You've
gone around me.
Yeah.
And my airtight vetting process, which doesn't exist.
Go on then.
We got, by the way, mortgage broker mummy. She just sends messages now. Also, Karen, Aussie Karen. You know when she said Karen the pies, but Karen the pies. Every now and then she'll send a new Karen pun just to screw with us. Karen the pies. She said, by the way, is there something in this? Mary Poppins for a new generation. Mary Poppinlock.
Fuck off.
Sweet old lady with her brolly. That dance. Have a great podcast. All the best, mortgage broker mummy. I love it.
So good.
It's great, isn't it?
It's terrible.
That's why I love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Nell Sonic sent one in. This is apropos of you mentioned your pearly gates in the past. Sorry, they said, I'm sorry about this ahead of time. So I'm like, all right, already good.
I'm leaning in.
Yeah. Thought of this one when whilst on the dunny. Great. Thank you.
We don't need to bring us into this.
Why are we?
We don't need to be part of this thought process.
I didn't want to let it slide. The scene is Axl Rose knocking vigorously at the pearly gates. Caption, which is God saying, "For the last time, Axl, wrong door." Okay. I feel like that's...
Well, Axl Rose isn't dead.
Okay, yep.
That's
the first
one issue.
Yeah. So we can't do a Pearly Gates cartoon about Axl. Are you saying that you know something about Axl?
Yeah, exactly. What
Rose's
do you know about
health
Axl?
that we don't know?
Yeah.
They're saying, get it ready. Trust
Get ready.
me. Nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
He's had a bad
This
turn.
is like writing an obituary for Prince Philip today. It's just good sense.
Don't know. Do you know they've been writing, by the way, they've been writing articles in the New York Times, in everything now, for all the Trump staff. Every staff member in the White House now.
I read about this.
Yeah.
Or maybe you told me.
They've been pre-writing all of their was fired because X.
You just put in why they were fired and then
and then it lists their history and the things. Like there's one for Amorosa, there's one for because every week someone else gets fired. And yeah, they're pre-writing all their firing tweets. Even the tweets that go out, they're pre-written. Amazing. Anyway, not bad. I would say a bit.
I think it's a bit tough to say that someone who's not dead is going to hell.
Okay.
Is that's the inference there?
That's the inference, I'm afraid. Now,
but you know the joke, knocking on heaven's door.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. It's just that I'm not on board.
So wouldn't it be better if he was knocking on Satan's door?
Oh,
that's the wrong door.
Wrong door, dickhead. Yeah. All right, we're going to put that in, but yeah. It's
a little bit of Tommy and Carl came.
Wrong door, dickhead. Yeah, okay. All right, I've got another one. This is from Humans of the New York Subway. Do you follow that Instagram?
I don't know, maybe.
It's just a whole litany of just shit that people do on the New York Subway.
So you know what I try to do is I'm reading a few books at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
And if I feel like I'm looking particularly good, I'll take it on the subway to hopefully get on Hot Toots reading. Never happen.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know yet.
Well, I don't know because I don't have Instagram.
Exactly. So here's one. The religious people in the subway
Yeah.
with the stand of brochures. You know, we pitched that
Yes,
other one.
yeah. The
Yep,
Jehovah's
yep.
Witness types. Yeah.
Hands behind their back, bodies very unanimated, huge smiles, intense eyes. Subway commuters are approaching, just coming down the stairs, and they're saying, "It's showtime."
I don't mind.
Now
that.
we're appropriating there. We have to be aware that this is something on the L train. For those who don't know, there are some performers who say showtime, and then they perform on the L train, and then they pass
spin
around a hat for
around,
some
yeah.
money. Yeah, what they perform is they spin around like circus-like feats on the poles.
Oh, they're
and the
amazing,
Bars. They're
these
incredible
dudes,
It's
yeah.
like they're almost like parkour athletic.
Oh no, it's more. It's almost. It's closer to traditional gymnastics.
It kind of is,
the
yeah,
actual
yeah.
strength these
You're quite
guys
right.
have.
Yeah, and they're African Americans. So it is a saying now, like comedians do it all
It's
the time.
showtime.
Showtime.
Yeah.
So to have a couple of presumably white Christians go showtime.
It's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut.
It's a good joke.
Good
It's a
joke.
deep cut.
And it's a
though.
very New York joke.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's a hair trigger now.
I think that if we could get that scene of the people with all that shit,
Yep.
and then our original caption of "Do you want to hear about what a terrible person you are?"
That's probably better.
I reckon that's a bit more
'Cause initially
because
we
when
had
this was
Yeah.
when I went in to see Emma at the New Yorker,
Yeah.
and she was like, she didn't understand. It wasn't clear enough to her what that person was.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll try it with that. With the
I think there's something. I think
yeah, I don't wanna
that
let that
I
joke
think
die.
that our Humans of New York subway friend
yeah.
has inadvertently cracked our matrix.
I think maybe. And they've got one last one, and this is the last suggestion for this
All
week.
right.
And this is also from Human. That's the reason
people do wanna
it's
suggest.
an addendum. If they want to suggest, where do they go?
I have no idea. Your email.
They can comment or they can DM me at Jason Chatfield. Please try not to slander me for being a piece of garbage. Or they can email me, jasonchatfieldcomedy@gmail.com. Also, if you want to come to our live podcast,
Oh, the
DM
live
or
pod.
email, and we'll let you know where it is and when it is.
Yeah.
We've got a very special guest lined up, so that's
We
very
do.
excited.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Last suggestion for the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Upper East Side teenagers, they never catch the subway. So, two Upper East Side rich kid teenagers at a subway entrance on the street.
Sure.
One explaining to the other what it is, trying to explain, and just going, look, I think it's like a huge UberPool.
Oh, that's not bad.
So that's a pretty straightforward joke.
That's very similar to one we did.
We did do one about, quite a while
Taxis.
back about taxis, like a retro.
It's like an old
like this is in
Uber or
2020.
something.
People are like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like Uber, but you pay,
Yeah.
But in this case, like trying to explain what the subway is to a bunch of teenagers who have never gone below ground. It's like,
think-
it's like the UberPool, but then they'd be like, wait, what's UberPool? I never get UberPool. I'm rich. Why would I get UberPool? So there is a chink in the armor there.
There is a bit.
Don't quote me on that.
It's like there's an Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an Uber pool full of urine or something like that.
The New York subway is an
Yeah,
UberPool full of
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And urine. That's pretty funny. It's just a truth that you
Yeah.
can't avoid. And it's never on time. It's like an UberPool, but it's never on time. It never shows up on time, or like it's like an UberPool that's constantly
What if
delayed.
what if the pool's the pool is I
Well, it's 'cause
understand
everyone's
it's a
sharing
good
the
joke.
same
yeah,
place
Yeah.
to a,
But it's like
yeah.
what if it's like VIA for really poor people? Like emphasis on really.
VIA, by the way, is an app where you can. There's
carpooling.
so many driver apps now. It's
Yeah.
a carpooling app, just like Uber, but it's just for carpooling. Always like Juno and Uber and Lyft, and the list goes on. There's something there about UberPool, subway cars being an UberPool. I feel like we're flinging this one into the universe just to be.
Yeah, I
gnawed at.
don't mind. I don't mind the Uber pool.
Mm.
I think for really poor people, like
I was like UberPool for really poor people.
yeah,
That's the joke, I think.
yeah.
I think that's pretty
That's
much.
kind of the.
Yeah, but it needs to be clear. Maybe it's not kids though. Maybe it's just
It's some society women. But they wouldn't know what Uber pool is
That's-
at
yeah,
all because
that's-
they've got their own drivers.
you've got to use the vernacular of the people that you're kind of making fun of, and keep in mind the readers of the New Yorker as well. So you're kind of you're poking fun at someone being like, oh, the peasants, oh, the peons, these plebeians riding the subway. What is this subway everyone keeps complaining about? Oh, it's like UberPool, but it's full of dog shit. Yeah, I mean, it's like an UberPool with gymnasts saying showtime. Oh, what if there's an Uber? Someone gets into an Uber pool and they sit down.
Showtime, mate,
Showtime.
not
Oh,
now.
for fuck's sake. It's Uber pool 2020.
Yeah.
It's like an SUV, like a giant Chevrolet Suburban. It's got showtime. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Or the guy like getting off with a black eye. Like, oh, this subway's rough. No, entertaining. Like,
Yeah. That's funny. Or someone passing around a hat in an Uber pool. You know when they do that in the subway?
Yeah.
Pass around a hat for some money.
Oh, we've gone too far down.
We
this
have
rabbit
gone too
hole.
far.
All right. Oh, before
Thank
we
you.
go,
Yeah.
Ellis J. Rosen.
Oh, just to get that one. I thought we'd go one
Nearly.
episode without mentioning the amazing LSJ Rosen. But a good job, mate.
There he is.
One last plug. This week, my show comes out on NBC Universal. So keep
Oh,
an eye
what's
out
it
for
called?
that. It's called Doodle Wars.
Wow.
Comes
I'm
out
sure it'll have a
Thursday.
different name should it get picked up by Australia.
Nah, keep it. So I don't know if it's going to be geo-blocked.
If this was in Australia and
Yeah.
it was called Doodle Wars, they'd change the name up here to Cock Battles.
I'm also on that, but that's geo-blocked.
But it's actually Jason fighting chickens in Thailand.
So keep your eyes peeled on my Instagram for some plugs about that. They're going to send me some promo material, which I'm terrified about.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, that's all for this week. Thanks for sending in suggestions. You know how to send them in. Let us know if you want to come to the live show. Thank you, Scott, for calling me a misogynist right off the bat. Appreciate that.
It's quite all right.
And thanks for listening. Let's go grab a beer.
Yes, let's.
See you, mate.
Oh, I'm gonna send you something.